Yeah, Shannon and Andrew, we were just about to get a press briefing from State Police on what happened out here, so we're going to turn live now and talk with Trooper Steve Lamani. Steve, what can you tell us about what happened here?
Well, I could tell you that there was a domestic that took place in Richland Township. That domestic was to the level of a felony domestic that involved a weapon. The male that was involved in that domestic was engaged by the Richland Township Police Department. He subsequently led them on a high-speed pursuit that traveled onto Route 22. They headed, which would be westbound on Route 22, and they were going to start to break that off, at which point in time our state troopers were not that far in this vicinity and were able to engage that vehicle. They followed that vehicle at a high rate of speed, which was very dangerous for the community, which we were very concerned about that, but followed that person at a high rate of speed for several miles. Subsequently, that vehicle tried to turn around where you see behind me, and one of our troopers engaged that vehicle, which you would call a pit maneuver. They were able to pin that vehicle up against what you consider the Jersey barrier or the concrete barriers that separate Route 22. We tried to engage him with some simple requests and compliance to obey our requests, and unfortunately that wasn't met, and we had to engage that person with gunfire. They did not survive, and right now we're working on our investigation, and it's a tragedy, and one of the things we hate ever seeing, right, is somebody not following through with what they need to do, and it's the police officer's worst nightmare, right, to have to engage somebody with lethal force. So that's where we're at. We're working together with all of the agencies when it comes to the district attorney's office, the coroner's office, and all the other agencies that were involved in helping us with this.
Any troopers hurt at this point?
Yeah, great question. No, none of the troopers were physically hurt. Obviously, we're working through them with members assistance programs, things of that nature, that we always do whenever there's an incident involving such trauma.
Were you able to say if there was a firearm involved or if there was any shots exchanged?
Yeah, so I could tell you there was a firearm involved, but I really can't get in depth. We're really early on in our investigation, so for me to try and talk to you about rounds and officers and the suspect or the accused in this particular case, I really be talking out of turn with all the information that we're gathering right now at the scene.
Trooper Lamani, how long will the road be closed still?
I would say that we're probably going to be here for another hour or two, and if you are a motorist out there, please be patient with us. I know there's a lot of people that travel Route 22. It's a main artery. We have some alternate routes that we're going to put up for you guys to display for all of your viewers, and hopefully they'll be able to comply with that and just try and get back to a normal life as best they can.
When you talk about how dangerous this really was, I mean, Route 22 is busy any time of day, but when you talk about the middle of the day, how many lives you're putting in jeopardy?
Yeah, it's very scary. Whenever you're involved in any type of high-speed pursuit, it's one of the worst things that we could be involved in as law enforcement. But then you're talking about being on Route 22 in the middle of the day. There's tons of traffic, very dangerous. We're lucky that no one else was hurt, and I think that goes to the testament of the officers involved in making sure that they were able to stop this before it got any worse.
All right, thanks, Steve. Appreciate it, guys. That was Trooper Steve Lamani giving us a briefing on what happened there. We can tell you it started as a domestic dispute, ended with a chase and crash here on Route 22. We're going to work to get more information as we learn more about the suspect. And if there was an exchange of gunfire, obviously police not able to answer that just yet on how many shots were fired or anything like that. But we do know that one man is dead, and we'll bring you any new information as it becomes available. For now, reporting live in Derry Township, Jim Adelinsky, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.